Hi, I'm Gerrit Davids. Welcome to SportX, where we talk all things relating to the ever-evolving business of sport and the people that makes things happen in this vibrant industry. I'm the founder of TalkX TV, where we host SportX as a content channel. And today I'm joined by Brian Kerby, who's a consultant at Brian Kerby Consulting. Welcome to SportX and the segment hashtag What I Do in Sport. And Brian, let's start off with informing us as to what is it that you do in the sports industry currently.
Gerrit, thanks for having me. Yeah, currently I'm a consultant to a small family business in the sports industry that run some sports brands. The main one being Mizuno, which we do all the footwear for, and I consult to them and manage that brand on their behalf. And yeah, they've got other sports related products in their business. The big one and the money spinner really being GU nutritional products, energy supplements, and all that. So yeah, I look after the Mizuno brand on behalf of a company called Pure Endurance Solutions. It's just a small family business. I think I've done my time with big corporates over the last. I was trying to work out. I've been in the industry for over 30 years, and
Yes.
with some big corporates, and now really enjoying time with some of the smaller players, and a lot more time to be able to do all the things that one wants to do when one hits 60. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm busy with. Yeah.
Okay, great. And as it stands, if you look back, uh, what were the highlights for you over the last 30 years that purely peaked the moment to say this is where I want to be?
Well, here actually, I mean, I've been very, very fortunate and blessed. If and I'm sure you speak to a lot of people in the industry. If you spoke to a youngster back in the day when I was still at school, and someone asked me, Brian, what would you like to do in as a career? And I was mad keen on sports, so I would have said it was definitely sports. And what would you like to do in that? I'd like to run Adidas. And as it so happened, that's where my career took me. And yeah, I headed up Adidas for close on 10 years as the managing director there. So yeah, very blessed in terms of being able to spend a lot of time in this industry and see how it's progressed from the early 90s, yeah, through to today. Highlights you ask, certainly, running Adidas with probably one of the best teams that we've ever had, and pulling off the 2010 Soccer World Cup here in South Africa, which was for the brand and for South Africa per se, was just an amazing achievement, and it was, and really to see the way the team pulled together and what us as a brand, as Adidas achieved, and what the country achieved, and what it did for this country. That Soccer World Cup 2010 was just something else. It was just a highlight, full stop. Yeah.
Yeah, I look at sports brands and I compare to car brands. They reckon that there are about 2,000 car brands in South Africa. I don't know how many sports brands are in South Africa, but it's also a roller coaster industry. And despite all the challenges that you face, which part of the job really makes you happy and say, I want to be in this game?
Okay, it's definitely, and you would know this, the people that you deal with in this industry. I've really enjoyed my time in this industry, and a lot has to do with the people that we deal with. And that's made me really happy and to be able to see how people in our industry and people that I've worked with, and teams that we've worked in, how they've grown and how they've progressed, and to see youngsters that came on board at the same time as me, and see them still in the industry and heading up, large sports brands, large other companies and things like that. So it's definitely, for me, the people that I've dealt with over, the 30 plus years that I've been in the industry, has been for me the highlight in terms of what this industry offers. People often have the wrong idea that all we do in the sports industry is go and watch sport and play sport and entertain and do all that. There's a lot more to this industry. It's a strong business industry, and but it's really about the people. That's what I've enjoyed most. Yeah.
No, great. So I do appreciate the fact that you are kind of semi-retired, as you told me, but also you still being involved in the industry. What are the biggest trends that you see emerging on the horizon, and how would you kind of say to yourself, "This is what I can see that's happening, that's coming," and even be of advice, give that kind of advice to people who came after you and say, "This is what you should be looking out for." I mean, we know now there's AI and the like. And how do we manage challenges in this particular industry of yours if I were to be there now as a senior executive?
Yeah, things, as you say, over the past time that I've been in the industry, 30 odd years, things have definitely changed. And if I have a look at today, over the last, 3 or 4 years, there have been some big changes in the industry from a sports point of view, and the way the brands are doing business. Um, all of the brands have, and all the major brands have taken a direct to consumer approach, where there's a strong focus around their own retail, around e-commerce, and that is their primary go-to-market strategy. Where it was very different in my day, where it was very much about wholesale and small independent retailers, and that was the way that brands got to their end consumers. Now it's very much directly to the consumer. Having said that, if one does do, and I really enjoy doing this, reading up on the brands and international brands and where their focuses are, some of those big brands, including the one that I was with for so long, have seen that actually the wholesale business is an important part of this industry, and you can't just focus around direct to consumer and focus directly on e-commerce and things like that. There's still room for the wholesale partners, and I know that a lot of the brands are now actually going back to those wholesale partners and reopening those negotiations and trying to get back in with them after being out for a number of years. So it's purely around the sports side. I'm definitely seeing that there will be a move back into some of the smaller and specialist retailers. The guys that offer you that key specialist knowledge, whether it's in running or football or team sports and hockey and things like that. And that's something that really pleases me, because it's something that I was passionate about in terms of our industry and how we serviced the industry during my time. And yes, that face to face, the connections, the people skills, all that. And whilst yes, there are massive opportunities, in e-commerce and online retailing, that's all going to grow, but it will grow together with the wholesale channels and with those big key accounts that have always dominated. So if anyone was getting into the game at this stage, I'd say don't ignore the wholesale channel. They definitely have a part to play in our sports industry. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks for that, Brian. So, on that note, looking back at your career path, what is the one piece of advice you would give to someone just starting out in the sector? And also, did you have mentors? And the aspect of mentoring is a big. There's a gap in South Africa between people leaving the industry and people that are coming up in the industry. And what would your piece of advice be to those kind of people?
Um, Definitely, and I probably you probably could hear from our chat. I'm very much about teams and about people. And in I don't take any. I'm not one that often comes onto these kind of talks and things, because it's not about me. It's actually about the teams that I've been involved in. And if anyone asks me what is the best piece of advice one could do when one leads a brand or one is in a senior position, I'd say get the best people around you. Surround yourself with really good people, because actually, at the end of the day, you will, whether you like it or not, you will shine if you've got really good teams around you, and you will be successful. Because if you invest in those teams, you invest in the people, that's something that will grow your business, will grow you as well. So for me, that is something that I would always advocate, is the teams that you build. Build strong teams around you, and you'll have a strong business. And yes, you mentioned mentoring. It's something that, it's something in our game that actually people don't place enough emphasis on. I had one or two really bosses. And I don't like the word boss, but they were more than that to me, because they were mentors, that I learned so much from. And as it is today, that's where I see partly a role that I'd like to play. I mean, I certainly am happy, and that's something that I've always said. Yes, I'm semi-retired, doing a little bit of consulting, but it's my time to give back to the industry, and it's exactly things like what you're doing now, and these kind of chats that you know I'm there to, and I do it for youngsters and things. Come on, let's meet for a coffee, bounce a few ideas. I think that could work, or have you thought of this, those kind of things. So mentoring does play a role, and an important role, not in just our industry, but in business per se. And I think people are realizing, yes, when we get old and gray and past 60, doesn't mean that we passed it. There's still a lot one can offer to business, and I think business around the world are seeing that. Yes, the youngsters are coming through. They're the ones pushing all the buttons. They're doing everything, but actually, there's still a place for expertise and that cool, calm head at the end of the day. So yeah, that's where I'm seeing myself as well. Other than just this, some small time consulting, to be honest, is giving
Mm.
back wherever I can, and helping out there. Yeah.
No, great stuff. Thanks to you that you are offering your institutional knowledge to those who are entering the industry and would want to tap into your brain. So that was Brian Kerby, consultant at Brian Kerby Consulting rather. Thank you for your time and insights, which is very much appreciated. That's where we will leave it for now. And thank you for watching What I Do in Sport on the SportX channel, which is hosted on TalkX TV. Thank you.